There are 94 brawlers in the game, and of that, 85 of them have hypercharges. Most of them are pretty good, but some of them are garbage, or OP, or just perfectly fine, but I wanted to make a new one for them anyways. And with this video idea that was totally never ever done before, I got a semi-pro and a MOBA star to rate them on a scale of 1 to 5. So I have the chance to get up to 200 stars, and if their combined scores total 140 or more, I'll give this skin to one random comment. Pearl's Hyper Super is one that's known to be messy. I mean, it's like waiting until the elevator is empty to fart. Anyways, I wanted to make it more appealing to her, and assuming that the ground beneath her feet isn't really getting touched by brawlers, so I had to try to work on the other mechanics of hers. Rage Train. This new ability enables Pearl to run significantly faster after using her super, and she also essentially insta-fills her heat. But believe me, it's not game-breakingly fast once you see it in action.
I do like the fact that when you're in the mode, you don't ever run out of heat. As far as the speed, there is some synergy with the speed and then never running out of heat damage. So you're just this monstrous ball of stats basically. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
How did you do that? That's so freaking funny. I like that. She looks scary, but this is actually such a good idea. I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5.
Frank's Hyper Super is honestly kind of annoying to use because it's fun to break the walls periodically and not all at once. Plus, it takes away some of his range. But I will say, it's kind of nice being able to stun in all directions near you. I also thought breaking invincible walls would be a little ridiculous, but there was a little bit of wiggle room luckily. Tombstone Pile Driver. This now allows him to reach beyond unbreakable walls without becoming the only brawler who can destroy them, and still have that small 360-degree radius where he can still stun.
So this actually fixes some of Frank's flaws.
So here's the thing, this is worse.
You miss your super, it still stuns people around you.
I don't think there's enough indestructible balls to warrant this.
No, I do like this. I'll give it a 3.
Obviously this is worse. I'd give it a 2.
Charlie's Hyper is... I don't know, I'm not a fan. It spawns spiders when the cocoon appears, so they're usually gone or dead by the time a brawler breaks out, and it kinda just makes them really useless. Instead, I think she should spray the cocoon with pesticides and then conduct some voodoo magic. Thanks for the supercharge. This one adds a new mechanic to the game, which I kept at a low level so it wasn't too OP, but brawlers can finally lose a tiny bit of supercharge when in the cocoon.
Alright, so he sucks the brawler and it sucks his supercharge as well. It's a much more interesting idea and the reward is pretty good, but it feels like 5% is very little.
This is more fun. How would it impact the game though? I think that's the biggest question. I don't care, I like it. I'm gonna give it a 5.
2.5.
The current Hyper Super for Willow is honestly just fine because being able to mind control brawlers from everywhere is something I wish I had while I mastered her a while back. Anyways, I decided to just give her a more offensive alternative without being broken and keeping the brawlers super strained.
Prenup. Interesting name.
Willow can now finally use gadgets and supers of the brawler she controls, but once mind control ends, their gadgets and supers are still exactly how they were before being hit.
See, that's what I feel like it should have been.
Oh, wait.
This is busted, but also really funny.
It is so frustrating when you mind control a brawler that needs their super to function. Like a Sam, what are you gonna do?
I think this is honestly kind of fair. If for some reason she has her hyper super, it makes you kind of want to use your abilities sooner, which is a weird counterplay.
I'll give this one a 4.
I'd give it a 4.
Colt's Hyper Super kinda got punished because it was part of the first 6 to exist. A wider super is helpful, but what the community wants to see is new mechanics. So I invite you to have a nice look at knockback Colt. Whiplash. Colt now knocks back enemies with every projectile that hits them, which can very easily add up if he lines them up the right way.
Is that gonna chain? Oh my god, it does.
That's a crazy animation.
This is basically a much scarier team wipe button because once you get hit by one, you're pretty much gonna get hit by all of them essentially.
I think it just looks scuffed to me because of the animation, but it could be a good idea. I'm gonna give this one a 3.
I'm gonna give this a 4.5.
Mico's Hyper can really come in clutch in game-deciding situations like the end of a knockout match. However, I think his other biggest weaknesses should be addressed, but hopefully in a balanced manner. I'm going bananas. Now, when Mico lands, he gets to eat some yummy bananas to restore some of his ammo and hopefully get more attacks off before he gets taken out.
Oh?
Oh my gosh, wait. That's so cute.
And he picks those. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. I actually really like that idea.
Honestly, when I play Mico and I use a hypercharge, I don't even notice the sun.
For someone like Mico, like that's what he needs.
I think this one's so fun. I'm gonna give it a 5.
You know what? I'll give it a 5 out of 5 actually.
Jackie honestly has a really boring hypercharge. I can't say I was all that much a fan since the start, but as I was playing this, I realized how hard her super is to make a hypercharge. Jackie's smacky. Now, Jackie doesn't just pull the brawlers in, she pulls them in and sets them on fire. It's about time her super actually does some damage.
I don't know how I feel about this one, because anyone that's getting pulled into Jackie's like hyper super is probably gonna die. I don't think Jackie needs more damage.
Kind of reminds me of Pearls right now. I don't like this one.
It's not even that unique either. I'm gonna give it like a 1. I'm sorry.
I can't give it a 1. I'll give it a 2.
I love controlling Nani's super, but I think her hypercharge is one of the least useful features ever. The stat boosts are very useful, but everyone else's hypercharge has some cool ability aside from the stats. Peep in peep. Now, her super is kind of like a Russian doll, allowing her to do 2 impacts per use. The second one, of course, will do much less damage, and it's obviously not guaranteed that both of them hit the same target.
It gives more sauce to the super. I don't like Nani's super too much. It's not really that too interesting. This is a bit more unique.
Oh, so you can have a double hit. Okay, I like this. I feel like it's an improvement to the one we have right now. I'm gonna give it a 4.
I like the idea. I give it like a 3.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't even think I knew what Lola's hyper super did before I made this, so like, the new one I knew I had to make broken. Protocol Protect. Now, any damage Lola receives with a living hyper super just gets transferred to her hyper ego. How lovely.
Oh, it's like the Larry star power. Should I have a little bit more HP?
I'll give it a 3.9.
I give it a 4 out of 5.
Jean's 3 hands is more of a make it easier to catch one than actually catch multiple enemies practically. But again, I could be wrong. Anyways, with a giant hand like that, I don't think he'd ever lose a tickle fight. Tickle fight. Jean's hand now tickles brawlers on the way in, and of course this builds up stuns instead of laughs.
Yeah, so it's like a reverse buzz super.
This is like a reverse buzz super. Wait, where's the tickle?
Like if you're gonna get pulled, you're gonna probably die anyways.
What do you mean tickle? I need to know what this tickle is all about. So there might not be any reason to have that gadget.
I'll go to 3.5.
I'm gonna give this one a 2.
Darryl's current hyper is kind of like one of the gadgets they made on the release of gadgets, where they didn't really know what to make, so they just had attacks go all around the place. Well, I fixed that. Evo Darryl Barrel. Now, Darryl brings the enemies to the end of his super, slowing them for a tiny little bit, and then probably shotgunning them to death.
Oh my gosh.
Hold up.
Nah, that's diabolical.
Wait, imagine all those strategies with this one. Like someone's about to score in Brawl Ball. You roll over them and capture them.
Darryl's hyper is kind of buns, but this is super strong.
This could be broken.
I'll give it like a 3.
It's a little silly. It's a little funny. I'll give it 4.5.
Mr. P went from an S tier to like a C- tier hypercharge after a few weeks. Now, he needs to go back to S tier once again, right? Penguins with rockets. Now, his porters are equipped with rocket launchers, which don't really increase their damage, but they sure as heck make the attacks hurt a bigger area.
I don't know if I have much to say about this one.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I'll give it a 3.
That's that's amazing. I think the animation itself made me love it a bit more, just blasting 2 Jessies, but 4 out of 5.
Kenji has swept everything, from the Brawl Cup to the match I played before the balance changes to, I don't know, whatever else. Now it's time to make it garbage. I've gone expired. Now, instead of doing any damage or anything, Kenji's hyper super just leaves a fishy on the ground. That's all.
Kenji's super now just throws a smelly fish on the floor and nothing else happens. You're trolling. You're trolling. And the fish just stays there? Oh, you're just trying to nerf Kenji. Like, you're just trying to completely take him out, nerf him. The name makes a lot of sense now.
5 out of 5. Yeah, like the hyper. I hate Kenji's hyper.
You know what? Kenji needs a nerf. 5 out of 5 stars.
Mortis has a perfectly fine and balanced hypercharge. It's never made me go nuts at the game or anything, but that's just me. Now let's make it slightly worse, but with a cool new mechanic. Blind as my bats. Now, getting hit with Mortis' super makes you go blind for a few seconds, kind of like everyone else's in a Sandy super.
Oh yeah, it's like a Kaze super.
Oh, that's kind of cool actually.
Also, it's not like a specific area that you have to be in. It just just wherever you walk.
I don't think it'll be good, but I think it's got some cool utility.
I'm gonna say I like this one. Probably you made this before Kaze, but
So I think I'll give it like a 3.
I'll give it a 3.5.
Spike, having a round 1 hyper, also got hit with the classic bigger super hypercharge. That's lame. You know what rhymes with lame? Squid Game. You know what's in Squid Game? Mingle. Now, Spike super has a spinning circle of piercing spines at the border of his super, punishing those who try to leave.
Yeah, it reminds me of Jigglypuff.
Oh my god.
It's pretty cute.
I gave Kenji's hyper like a 5. It's a Pooey hyper. I'll give it a 4 as well.
I like it. 4.5 stars.
Buster has a really cool looking hyper super, but I don't think that hyper effect itself should have actually existed. So, here's what I got for him. Squad Buster. Buster now throws supers at all allies, and his own super lasts longer. Of course, anyone who attacks loses their montage.
You would have to have some real coordination with your team to use this properly. But if you're playing in esports and you have that communication going, this could be busted.
It's a unique take. Again, more utility, but it still has the same weakness.
Imagine 5v5.
Terrible name though. The name sucks. I'd give it a 4.5.
I think a 3 is okay.
Terra's hyper is just fine, but I think it could have done better than being a basic ability with a basic title. So, I took inspiration from the best Clash Royale card ever, Black Void. Terra's super now does crushing damage if just one target is caught inside, and progressively less as it catches more targets.
So it rewards you for actually getting less brawlers in your super.
Whoever is getting sucked by this and they're the only one for them.
If it's a really important brawler that you need to keep alive, would it be better to walk into Tara's super?
I'll give it a 4.5.
I'll give it a 3. I'll give it a 3.
Gale's super is kind of just meant to do a little bit more damage, right? I mean, the first note already pushes the brawlers back, so what's the other one doing? Slippery when icy. Now, Gale's super makes a little ice rink at the end of its range. That's pretty cool, right?
So it leaves basically 2 Lumi gadgets on the ground.
This is interesting.
I like it, but I don't know if it's that great. I'll just say whatever Pierre said for this one. He would know better about it.
Yeah, I'd give it a 3.5.
Brock has a really funny hypercharge because it was probably like the only one where players would use it after the super was launched. Well, that's no longer needed because now he has a super with essentially equal damage, just a bit more of a wider reach. In the groove, Brock's rockets now launch shrapnel in 4 directions, which doesn't do any additional damage per rocket, but it allows each rocket to do larger areas of damage.
It's like a Grom shot at the end.
Oh, okay. I feel like this is really well thought out.
I would have to see how it works against different brawlers.
Yeah, I do think Brock's super is too easy to dodge.
I'll give it a 3.5.
I'll give this like a 4.5.
Jessie has a fine hyper. I just came up with like 10 things that weren't giving it more health, and then when it came down to editing, I picked the second easiest one. Scrappy. Scrappy now shoots huge shots, which are much less likely to miss their target.
I know something that's pretty massive.
Yeah, like I don't know why it misses sometimes. It's so weird.
That's pretty sucky. I like the editing. The editing is pretty clean, to be honest.
It's a normal turret though.
You mostly use it to just throw it on people and just it dies immediately.
The accuracy is definitely an issue, but I'm willing to take that issue for the huge turret.
I'd give it like a 2 out of 5.
I'll give it a 2.
That's all the hypers, and here's my final score. You know what that means.